Well, Britain's addiction to surveillance is shattering records, with it estimated that there is now one camera for every 11 people there. Privacy groups are furious, saying that George Orwell's 1984 was never intended to be an instruction manual. RT's Tessa Arcilia takes a look.
If you ever feel like you're being watched, perhaps even feel singled out, no matter how huge the crowd, chances are it may not just be paranoia. The British Security Industry Association estimates that there are between 4.1 and 5.9 million closed-circuit television or CCTV cameras in the UK. Now, that's 1 in every 15 or 1 in every 11 people. So whether you're in the tube, in the shopping mall, or in what are called sensitive locations like schools and hospitals, there are likely to be electronic eyes on you. Now, in recent years, much criticism has been thrown at what is seen as the UK government's growing surveillance state. But in the BSIA's most recent report, it shows that in fact, majority of CCTV cameras are not government funded, but rather privately owned, mostly used for security reasons. And now the BSIA has stressed that CCTV schemes are invaluable for crime detection and evidence for the police. However, one of the main problems highlighted by watchdogs is the fact that there are still not enough regulations governing public CCTV surveillance, much less those that are privately owned. We discussed this issue with Big Brother Watch UK. All right, so private CCTV cameras far outnumber those installed by the police and local authorities. So it does challenge the idea that it is the government that's acting as Big Brother, doesn't it?
I think it's Big Brother as a whole in the UK at the moment. I think the private sector have seen the proliferation of CCTV cameras by the public sector, and there's this kind of eternal myth that CCTV prevents crime from happening. And so it's only a matter of time before the private sector cottoned onto that and started installing private CCTV for their own use. But we're seeing some incredibly sophisticated pieces of technology appearing via the internet. So things to do with facial recognition and cameras that can sense people from miles away. So I think it's only correct that the law catches up with the technology and states how and when these cameras can be used. Because at the end of the day, they're very, very sophisticated and they can form a very intricate picture of everybody's daily lives.
All right, thank you very much, Emma Carr, for that. Well, certainly the new information on the vast number of privately owned surveillance cameras will add to the debate of the so-called surveillance society. Now, this is just coming on the back of after 1 year of the Protection of Freedoms Act was passed here in the UK, where the government was forced to trim down its database of DNA and fingerprint records. And it's just coming days after that the code of regulation is imposed on public surveillance cameras. And of course, it adds to the debate created by the revelations of Edward Snowden already ongoing. Reporting from London, I'm Tessa Arcilia.